Finally, I've decided to move back to Apple ecosystem. Well, for those of you who have been subscribing to my channel or in Instagram, would have actually noticed that I was an avid Android Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus user, and I've been using it for the past 3 years. Well, before using Android, I was an iPhone 8 Plus user, I think back in 2017. So switching back to iPhone after all those years, well, it did took me some time and effort to get used to it again, but in the end it was worthwhile doing so, and I will tell you why I still did this considering the joys and the pains as I went through the whole experience. Hey guys, Jimmy here, and in this episode, I will take you through a complete experience of switching from Android to iPhone. Well, I'm gonna start off with unboxing my latest iPhone 13 Pro, and the reason for that is simply nothing compares to the satisfying experience of unboxing an Apple product. Secondly, I will also take you through some of the joys and pains of switching, including few details like syncing and setting up apps variety and operability. Well, thirdly, I will show you the cost of switching to iPhone for your planning if you will. And finally, my overall experience of having this iPhone 13 Pro in my hands. And hopefully, my review and experience will be useful for those of you who are considering to switch anytime soon. So stick around and stay tuned till the end, and hit the like button if you like this video. A few things that I've considered have convinced me into finally making the switch. Well, first of all is the video recording. Well, as a content creator, these features really catch my attention. The new cinematic mode, which is only available in the iPhone 13 series, but although there is a downside to that, it cannot record a 4K resolutions with the cinematic mode, but that doesn't bother me that much because 1080p is a good enough resolutions for me to produce a good quality cinematic video content for my social media purpose. It also has a HDR video recording with Dolby Vision's up to 4K resolutions at 60 frames per second, a ProRes video recording up to 4K at 30 frames per second, a macro video recording which includes slow-mo and time-lapse, plus the stability of the camera is indeed impressive. I really appreciate having these amazing features in my pocket, and in my opinion, so far no Android phone has been able to compare itself with the video recording capability of the iPhone 13 Pro or the Pro Max. The second thing is the battery life. I know that iPhones are notorious of having poor battery life, but this is no longer the case with the iPhone 13 Pro or the 13 Pro Max. I've been using my iPhone 13 Pro for the past few months now with my regular activities like scrolling, browsing through the social medias, always on the chats, emails, and even watching YouTubes or Netflix. And so far, I don't find the need to keep charging my phone every now and then. Well, not at least until nighttime or bedtime. Thirdly, the one that seals the deals for me is the Apple ecosystem. I have been an iMac or MacBook Pro user ever since the iMac G3 series.
You can knock me down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place.
And I also own an iPad Pro. So the missing piece for me is this iPhone to enjoy e-syncing everything seamlessly and using AirDrop to transfer files from one device to another. It's efficient, it's quick, it's seamless, and it's much simpler as I go. Especially with the 15.4 software updates recently, the whole Apple ecosystem is now even more integrated. So how about the pains and the hassle during the switch? Well, there is quite a number of things actually. Number 1. Transferring files, data, contacts, and apps. Now, because these two devices are running on a totally different OS, I need to run through all of the apps that I already had in my Android and then manually to reinstall them again on my new iPhone. Well, there is no direct way on transferring all of my apps from my Android to the iPhone. Availability of the apps is also one of the hassles in transferring apps. Not all of the apps in the Google Play Store is available in the App Store. Well, I have no problem with general day-to-day apps, but there are some apps that I've previously purchased in the Google Play Store that cannot continue on, so I did have to repurchase them again in App Store.
No. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No. No.
Well, it took me almost an entire day to actually reinstall all of the apps and then sign in one by one to get them ready on my new iPhone 13 Pro. Nonetheless, not all of the hassles are bad because during the process, I also took some time to reorganize all of my apps, removing the ones that I no longer needed and sorting them in a way that makes it cleaner and easier for me to find as well. And one of the things to remember in saving your files and data is that once you are using an iPhone, you are now saving all of your files, including your photos, your videos, and everything else in iCloud instead of Google Drive. Now, the trickiest part of moving anything from my Android phone to my iPhone for me is transferring my WhatsApp data.
Yeah, it's tricky.
I use WhatsApp chat for both personal and business, and unfortunately, there is no other way than using a third-party apps to help me do so. The reason for that is basically WhatsApp in Android uses Google Drive to back up all of the data, while in iOS it uses iCloud. So even if I have already backed up all of my chats, my data and medias on my Android to my Google Drive, there is no way I can actually retrieve all of those files into my iPhone directly. Luckily, I stumbled upon Dr. Phone from Wondershare, and I will put the link down in the description box below. It actually helps me to smoothly transfer all of my WhatsApp chats and data from my Android to my iPhone, and it actually works vice versa as well. Note that this is not sponsored or anything, but so far the process that I went through is pretty simple, although it does take me some time to transfer all of the data, but more importantly, it is safe. Well, you do need to pay an amount for the license fee, but obviously I wouldn't want to use some other dodgy method like some cracked third-party applications which are said to be free with the risk of losing my data. As for the contact list, all of them are basically synced to my Gmail account, so I just need to log in to my Gmail account on my iPhone and it automatically syncs all my contacts with no issues at all. Number 2, freedom to customize. In my previous Android experience, I used Nova Launcher, which gives me the freedom in personalizing the look and feel of my Android phone. You know, having to switch and play around with the widget, with the icon and all. In the case of iPhone, When my screen is full of apps, it just looks very messy with all of these different design and colors of the apps icons. So grouping all of the apps by color is just my personal way of making it look neater and aesthetically more pleasing. Number 3, S Pen. Well, as a Samsung Note user, the one thing that I really miss is having this S Pen, because I use the pen a lot for taking meeting notes or just to jot down or draw out some ideas that suddenly pop up. Number 4, back button. Well, I sort of got used to this tapping on the back button at the bottom of the Android screen, and in iPhone sometimes I can just swipe the phone screen to go back, but most of the times I have to tap on the top left of the screen, which means sometimes I still need to use both hands to operate. Number 5, lightning cable. I think most Apple users have the same complaints about this for quite some time, and I still don't get why they are keeping the lightning cables even in the iPhone 13 series that was launched in the late 2021. I mean, even the iPad Pro have been using USB-C port since 2018. This actually means that I need to carry an extra USB-C to lightning cable around with me, and probably even to buy some extra cables in case of emergency. So I've managed to sum up all of the pains and gains related to my switching, and perhaps this will come into your consideration as you begin to set up and sync your iPhone. Now, let's talk about the most important thing, the cost of switching. For those of you who are saving money to get the latest iPhone 13 series, keep in mind of all of the additional cost that comes along with the Switch.
Shut up and take my money!
So I'm now paying $3 for an extra 200GB iCloud storage, but this is nothing compared to a set of accessories as an iPhone user would probably get. To begin with, you will need a screen protector and a relatively more expensive phone casing so you can better protect your iPhone, which has cost you $1,000 and above. Aside from that, you have MagSafe accessories which comes in vast variety. Well, you have the MagSafe power bank, MagSafe casing, MagSafe wallet, MagSafe card holder, MagSafe charging dock, and I think these are just a few that I mentioned, which can cost you an additional $30 to $40 for each item as a start if you want them to come in good quality. Well, I will talk more about my iPhone accessories in my next video, so stay tuned for that. With the whole experience, I would say the switching is somewhat smooth and not that hard. It just takes patience. Nonetheless, I hope this video will help to ease your decision for those of you who are looking to switch from Android to iPhone.
I'm moving on.
And I guess the next thing for me to sort of complete another missing piece of puzzle is by moving from my Galaxy Watch to the latest Apple Watch. Although I'm still contemplating whether I should get the Apple Watch 7 or Apple Watch SE, or should I even just wait until September and see if they are launching the new Apple Watch Series 8? Who knows? Well, if any of you are using these watches, do let me know your experience and your thoughts in the comment section. If you find this video helpful, do give a like, share, and consider subscribing. Feel free to drop your feedbacks about this video down below. You can also check my Instagram to get more updates or to reach out to me. So that's it, and I will see you again on the next episode.